Hello friends, in this video we will evaluate one more gate problem and the question goes like this. So for a unit step input, so which is u of n, so for that the output of the system, which system LTI system is given to be 2 delta of n plus 1 plus delta of n plus delta of n minus 1. So this is given information. So for u of n, this is the output, but we know that if u of n is the input for an LTI system, whatever output we get, we call that as the step response of the system. Once the step response of the system is known, we can evaluate the impulse response of the system to be equal to h of n, which is equal to s of n minus s of n minus 1. So let us substitute and see what happens. That should be equal to 2 times delta of n plus 1 plus delta of n plus delta of n minus 1. So minus s of n minus 2 is there, so that should be equal to 2 delta of n. Why? Because n is replaced with n minus 1, so you get delta of 2 delta of n minus 1 plus 1, which is delta of n, and in a similar fashion the second term would be plus delta of n minus 1 and third term would be plus delta of n minus 2. So if you we can see that this delta of n minus 1 will get cancelled out, and what is left out, we get the impulse response of the system h of n to be 2 delta of n plus 1 plus delta of n minus 2 times delta of n, that should be minus delta of n, and then finally we get minus delta of n minus 2. So that would be the impulse response of the system. Okay, so we have evaluated the impulse response of the system, but what is the question? So if you give 1 by 2 power n u of n as the input, okay, so let me call this as x of n in a regular terminology. So whatever output we get, let us call that to be y of n, and we know that this y of n is nothing but x of n convolved with h of n. Okay, yeah, so what is the equation for y of n? That is nothing but summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k times h of n minus k. Okay, that is our y of n, but we are asked to evaluate y of 0. So what will be our y of 0? We have to replace n with 0, so you get summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k. We have n here, that should be replaced with 0, and hence you get x of k times h of minus k. So now let us try to evaluate this summation. So first let us plot what is x of k. X of k is nothing but 1 by 2 power n. X of n is given to be 1 by 2 power n u of n, so x of k would be equal to 1 by 2 power k u of k, and the plot of that will look something like this. So this is 0, 1, 2, and the corresponding amplitudes are 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, and so on. So this is our x of k, and that has to be multiplied with h of minus k. So to plot h of minus k, first let us plot what is h of k. So h of k we already know, or h of n we already know, which is 2 times delta of n plus 1 minus delta of n minus delta of n minus 2. So if you plot that, what do you get? You get at minus 1 amplitude to be 2, at origin amplitude to be minus 1, and at 2 you have amplitude to be minus 1. So this will be our x of k. What will be our h? What is our h of k? But we want h of minus k, so let us plot that. So h of minus k is just time reversed version of your h of k. So how does the plot look? So this is 2. Okay, at minus 2 you have minus 1, and at minus 1 you don't have anything. At origin what happens? You have minus 1 again, and at 1 you have 2. So at 1 you have 2. So this is our h of minus k. So if you multiply x of k, that's what we want, right? We have to multiply x of k with h of minus k. So how does the final plot look? So the final plot of x of k multiplied with h of minus k. How does that look? At 0, what is the amplitude? At 0, this is 1 and this is minus 1. So total amplitude would be minus 1. Okay, and note that before 0, the x of k is completely 0 and hence the product would be 0. So again at 1, what happens? This h of minus k amplitude is 2 and x of k amplitude is half. So if you multiply these two, you get 1. Okay, so at 1 you have 1. Why? Because 1 by 2 times 2 is 1. So this is what? This is the plot of x of k times h of minus k. Okay, so but what happens to the other samples? They all are zeros. Why? After 1 the product would be 0, before 0 also the product is 0. Now we have to sum all the values. So if you want to sum all the values, what happens? You get summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k times h of minus k would be equal to, so if you add all the samples, we have only 2 samples actually, you get minus 1 plus 1, that turns out to be 0. So what is the value of y of 0? That is nothing but summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k h of minus k, and that turned out to be 0. So in that way we can solve this problem. Hope you have understood the concept. Thank you.